Hello everyone. So welcome to today's presentation. We are from Marpatis Group, and today we are going to share with you our final project for lesson plan for teaching English for young learners. So our group consists of Febiola Susanto, Dinar Petra Ardini, Fionasya Nabila, Dia, Laurencia Berliana. Let's we move into our first slide. Let me talk about the instrument of this lesson plan. So we are already decided that we are going to go with Don Bosco Private Elementary School, because previously we are having report on Don Bosco Private Elementary School, which is like we have already interviewed the teacher, and we choose second grade for teaching English for second grade. The amount of the student is 30 students because of Don Bosco. Mostly the student in a class is 30 students. The age is between 9 until 10 years old. And then this is the first semester, or the first term of the semester, and the topic is human expression. The time allocation is for about two times 25 minutes, which means 50 minutes in thing. And we use audiolingual method and total physical response, basically because of we already interviewed the teacher, and then the Don Bosco teacher saying that audiolingual method and total physical response is all that students need, because of students learn by what they see, what they heard, and what they do. So the application used is Emudo and Zoom. Mostly Emudo is for submit the assessment and then share the teaching materials, and Zoom is for the meeting itself. Mostly the sources is from YouTube. We are using YouTube as the main sources. Let's move into the next slide. The school setting is National Private Elementary School, and the school English used as language to communicate. Language use is 50% English and 50% Indonesian. Lesson objectives. First, students are able to know seven different kind of expression. The second is students are able to mimicking several expression related to the materials. The third, students are able to write 7 expression in the right words or in the perfect good word. And then the fourth is students are able to express their feeling and ask others feeling in a simple sentence. So the next, the vocabulary, we are focusing in vocabulary such as happy, sad, angry, worried, excited, shy, and scared. The aim of the learning is the first one is to identify about several feelings and expression that humans have. And the second one is to use proper sentence to ask about others' feeling. And the third is to be able to express their feeling in their with the right symptoms, like when they're sad, how to know what they when they are sad, like from their face or something else like that. And the fourth, the aims is to write about the material related with the topic in the right words. The steps that we are already discussed is we are started with the introduction, and the activity, and then after that the last one is the closure. The attitude that we are expecting after this learning activity is students are able to respect and respect one and another, knowing what others' feelings, and still honor and respect each other. And the second one is enjoy the learning situation, and then they are well behaved. For some additional information, we are already like we are discussed and we are spirit from like for 30 students. We are make it into the 2 different online classes. On each is like for about on each section, because we already having like a 2 different section. We are going to make on each section is consists of 15 students. So the description will be explained by Liana. Liana, the time is yours.
Thank you. Okay, here the description of our lesson plan. So the class is the second meeting of the first semester of second grade. So in the previous meeting, the class had discussed what the student will learn, the roles of the class, and the introduction. This lesson is conducted by using Zoom meeting. The teacher has instructed the parents for doing online learning by using WhatsApp group. So the student's attachment will be submitted to Edmodo, and Here we use the two methods, that is audiolingual method and total physical responses. According to audiolingual method, speech is given priority in foreign language teaching. So the teacher teaches language through dialogues that focus on habit formation of the student. Uh, the purpose of this method is to use the target language communicate, communicatively. And then the TPR, uh, total physical response, aims to produce role play and classroom activities that use to elicit physical actions. And the slide presentation that we use, that the teacher used in the class, is to provide a visual center for teacher narration. And the students listen attentively and respond physically to comments given by the teacher. Okay, and then as a note, at the beginning stages of instruction, students can respond to instructor in their native language. So let's move to the classroom online learning activity rules. So the rules of the classroom have sent on WhatsApp group to inform about the online learning. So this is five classroom rules. That is, the student should join the meeting at least 5 minutes before the meeting is started. Students should follow the lesson until the end of the section. And students should provide a printed worksheet that the teacher already provided before the lesson is started. It is also sent on WhatsApp group. And if the fourth rule is if the students have a question to the teacher, students have to activate raise hand mode on the Zoom. The fifth rule, students should not talk over to others without teacher permission. Okay. So the next steps is teaching procedures. Here, we will share the pre-teaching. I will share the pre-teaching. The first 2 minutes, the teacher leads a prayer and greets the students. Students are ready to pray and they also ready to answer the teacher's greetings. The description is the teachers open the lesson by leading a prayer and greet the students with good morning and how are you today. Here we have no materials. And the second stage is the teacher asks the students to stand up and sing a song. We have 3 minutes to do these activities. The students follow the teacher instruction to sing and dance or clap their hands. So the materials is we get from YouTube. It is about uh, a song video. It is a short video entitled "If You're Ready and You Know It." Okay, and it is familiar for the students, so it attracts student attention to the classroom. The description is here. The students not only watching the video, but the teacher also asks the students to have body movement. They do body movement. The teacher monitors the students from the Zoom screen. Okay. The wish list of the teaching shared will be shared by Fabiola.
Okay, thank you, Liana. So starting from now, we are going to explain about the wish list. The first 2 minutes, the teacher asks the students what their feelings, and then the students are ready to answer the teacher's questions. And the materials will be taken from Appendix 2, where the teacher will show the real picture of expression. So to minimize students' understandings, the teacher will show the students about real pictures uh, that will make the students learn more about the expression. And the description, the teacher also help the students to answer by mentioning what kind of feelings, showing a clear signposting to the children that they are going to start to listen. According to Jen Brester and Gail Ellis with Dennis Grant, the primary English teacher quote. And then the next list will take 6 minutes, where the teacher explains the expression and feeling by using mimic or pictures. And the students are pay attention to the text, to the teacher explanation in this stage. So the materials will be taken from the YouTube video. Uh, so it's like the teacher will play some video from the YouTube, and the description is the teacher attract and make the students understanding by using her expression and ask them to imitate. Next, please.
And the next is list will take 7 minutes, where the teacher gives instruction to the students to do the activity. Teacher also offers the students the response, and the teacher write the response underneath the picture. And then the students respond to the teacher instruction and do the activity. The students relate the picture to the word emotion. And the materials about the emotion are feelings. Our feelings change from moment to moment depending on what's going on around us at home and something like that. And in this stage, the teacher tried to explain more about how they will use or what time they will express their feelings. And the description, teacher access prior knowledge of emotion by showing a photograph of someone crying. Write the word emotion underneath the photograph. Learning language through text and activities. It's like a formative assessment, which is considered one of the most influential ways to improve teaching and learning process. This type of assessment is conducted to assess students' understanding, learning niche, and learning process concerning a particular unit of learning material. 10 minutes where the teacher asks a model to explain the expression using mimic. The teacher asks some students to say the word and explain it using mimic. So this is more going further about how the teacher explain the expressions. And the students say the word and explaining it by using mimic also. And the materials, the teacher use target language that their students will use in this stage, like I am sad, I am happy, I am angry, and I'm confused. And the description is the teacher control the activity by calling some students to do the activity. The feature of audiolingual method is the teacher reads a dialogue by modeling it according to Carol. And the last is the teacher explains about the worksheet to the students. So before the students give worksheet to the students, the teacher will explain so they can do it well. And the student do the worksheet and take a photo of that and submit it on Edmodo. And the materials include photos, link submission, guideline, worksheet, and the teacher clearly instructed the parents and students. The teacher explained the guidelines. So in this case, the teacher will contact with the parents about the submissions where they can submit their assignment. And assessment that the teacher do in this stage is like warm up assessment to test students' understandings, because the teacher has already explained through the video, through using mimic and so on. So to check their understanding about what the teacher has bring to the students, the teacher do this assignment. Next.
So move to the post-teaching. In the first 5 minutes, the teachers reviews the material by asking the students what they have learned today. The teacher asks the students to make mind map based on what they get from the lesson. The teacher also shows the example of the mind map. So in this first 5 minutes, the teacher, after the activity before in the wish list, and evaluate the students what they have learning. So the teachers make kind of mind map assessment, and the student will give response by mentioning the topic, and students create their mind map in a drawing paper. And the material the teachers provide mind map as an example of self-assessment. And here is on the appendix 7. So in the description, the teacher summarized the material to explain, encouraging students to assess themselves by using self-assessment paper. This is also called learn-centered approach and learn-to-learn principles based on teaching young language learners and Anna Maria Kinder, page 156. Alternative assessment is an umbrella term which shelters any alternatives to standardized multiple choice testing. And information technology, IT-based ways of testing, and an alternative approach which makes assessment an integral part of the teaching and learning process, and in which the focus is more directly on performance. And the second 5 minutes, the teacher explained the drawing video presentation and self-assessment to the students and their parents. And the teacher closes the class by saying goodbye and give a short message to keep on spirit to do the online learning. So in the
last 5 minutes, the teacher will explain about the drawing video and presentation as well assessment to the students and also to the parents. And the teacher also asks the students to take note, to remember and take a note what they have need to do after the class. And the material is based on Appendix 8 and 9. And the teacher also provide the guideline for the assessment. In the description, the teacher asks the students to write down what they need to do after the class. The teacher also give explanation to their parents about the assessment and also encouraging students to assess themselves by using self-assessment paper. This is also called learner-centered approach and learning to learn principle based on teaching young language learners, Anna Maria Pinner, page 136. And for the attachment, for the student assessment in Appendix 1, the teacher provide the video, sing videos. And then in Appendix 2, about the real picture. And in Appendix 3, flashcard that the teacher will use in explaining to the students about the human feelings expression. And then Appendix 4 for the video presentation for the student assessment. And then in Appendix 5, assessment of lesson plan. And this is the answer key for the students' worksheet that the students and the teachers have give to the students. And then in Appendix 9 is for the guideline for students filling the blanks worksheets. And Appendix 7 is mind map example where the student fill their do their assessment in this kind of form. And in Appendix 8 is the guideline for student in drawing assessment. In Appendix 9 is guideline for the video presentation assessment. In Appendix 10, guideline for mind map self-assessment. And in Appendix 11 is the rubric for the student video presentation. In this rubric, teacher will grade students' presentation on that the teacher have given. And in Appendix 12 is the rubric for drawing expression. For the assessment, we use worksheet assessment focused on vocabulary, cognitive, and oral. After the teacher gives the materials, the teacher will distribute the worksheet for the beginning or the starter of the assignment. The purpose is to know students' ability and their understanding for the next step. For the formative assessment, teacher focus on vocabulary, imagination. In the end of visual teaching, the teacher will ask the students to do a drawing fun activity. The purpose is to let teacher know how well the students can express their emotion through their drawing. And then self-assessment will be done along with drawing section. The purpose to a self-assessment is the students can tell the truth about their understanding material so the teachers can know about their capability. And next, video presentation. While the students do their drawing stuff, it should be recording and turned into video presentation. The purpose of this activity is to let teacher know their process will do the assignment.
The reason of choosing procedures of the lesson plan. Okay, here we use the theory from Piaget stage that explain about the concrete operational stage, which means the students at 7 to 11 years old cannot yet generalize their understanding. So here the theory from Pinter material evaluation and material design. On this theory, students at 7 years old has turning point in cognitive development because children thinking begins to resemble logical adult-like thinking. So they develop the ability to apply logical reasoning in several areas of knowledge at the same time, such as math, science, and map reading. But this ability is restricted to the immediate context. Next, the reason of designing the assessment in the lesson plan. Assessment is to support learning. So here we use the assessment to support learning and for accountability and the certification progress and transfer needs. Okay, and here as the support learning is often referred to as formative assessment. And then the function of assessment is to account the student's responsibility of educational for evidence that learning is being promoted. And the assessment of certification, progress, and transfers needs to be served on both on institutional and individual level. So this is our presentation. Thank you for watching.